I stopped at one of my branches to return some coins today, and I asked them if they had a box of nickels and pennies I could buy, and they did have nickels. And he said, I don't have an extra box of pennies today. We're just running low. He said, would you consider buying a bag of pennies for $50? And he said, they do come out of the machine that I put them in. I said, well, I certainly don't want to buy my pennies back. And he said, when was the last time you came here? I said, a couple weeks ago. He said, well, we've gone through a dozen bags since then. He said, we go through about 6 bags a week. He said, who knows what's in there? And I'm like, well, it's worth a shot. Didn't have a box of pennies anyway. I'm not exactly sure how to tackle it. With the pennies, it's first row, second row, third row, up to the 50th row. I do happen to see a 2009 memorial there. That's cool. When I think of this, I think about how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. So I'm thinking about like grabbing a cup or something and digging down in there and seeing how many cups I get and going through them a cup at a time or something like that. Uh, you know, I'll get the results eventually, but I don't know what type of methodical use to use other than, grab a handful and see what you got. And I guess there's just no better way than to get started like that. And instead of you seeing me go through them, I'll just show you what I find as I find them today. And hopefully we'll find something good. Hopefully, I look for 3 pounds of copper per $25 box of pennies. So I guess that would mean I'm hoping to get 6 pounds of copper out of this. That'd be great. We'll see. I'll get started and see what all we find. Oh, and by the way, I had to go back through this almost 5 pounds of copper pennies. Thankfully, somebody watching the video said, hey, I think I saw some shield pennies in your copper box. So I went back and checked. I'm like, oh my, I guess I threw a handful in there, and I had to go back through all of them and pull out the, those 30 or 40 or whatever zinc pennies in there. I'm so glad. Thank you so much for catching that, because I would have hated to have sold it and then the customer down the road somewhere, and then a customer said, hey, what's going on? I don't know what's going to happen with these, but I don't want it to be compromised. And thank you so much. What a drag that was. I guess I won't need this guy today. Okay. So I pulled out one handful of coins, pennies, and there was 89 of them, and 19 of them were copper. And so I figured that up, and that's 21%. And so that would be like if I had a roll of pennies, it'd be like getting 10 and a half copper, which is great because that would be over, in one box, that'd be over 3 pounds. So for this bag, that should mean if everything is consistent, which it won't be, then I would get my 6 pounds. Out of the 70 zinc, I also got a 2009, this one, and then I reached my hand back in there and grabbed that other one too. So that one don't count. But anyway, that's good start anyway. I just wanted to tell you how I'm going. I'll do this to you every time, I promise. But this next handful was bigger. I pulled out 124 coins in the next handful, and only 18 of them was copper. So that means it's only 14% in that handful, which would be like 7 per roll, which is not enough to hit the 6 pounds. So obviously it's going to vary a whole lot, but like a lot of boxes, I just won't know till I get to the end and weigh it. Unless it just goes crazy and it's just real obvious. But more than likely it's going to go back and forth like this. The whole bag. I just hope I have some. Oh, I did get one more 2009 out of that handful. I hope I get some wheat pennies to show you, or, some Canadian or something else. But I won't show you this every time. My promise to you. Handful, which is what we'll be going by today. I got 24 coppers, and it seems like a handful. I'm getting big handfuls. It's like between 2 and 3 rolls per handful. So, I guess that's putting me close to my average. But finally, I got my first wheat penny, and that's nice, arrow pointing to it. 1946. So we have begun. There is wheat pennies, or at least a wheat penny in this bag. I pull out my next handful, which is my 5th, by the way. I'm getting big handfuls. And right on top, I hit wheat penny number 2. That was pretty cool. I have not moved it. It was sitting right there. 51D, I believe. Yep. Well, there's 2. Alrighty. Cool beans. 32 coppers along with that wheat penny in this 5th handful. Also, I find my first Canadian. It's the 12-sided and a 2009. The Canadian is 1989. In the 6th handful, I found my 3rd wheat penny. It's very nice shape. 1958D. Also, in this bag, way back there, is the 82 jar. I'm just weighing my 82s as I go. I'm not sticking them in the jar for later. For lunch, I went down the road to a little Mexican grocery store, and I picked up some chorizo potatoes and some guacamole. And at the counter, they had in a little heater thing. And I said, "What's that over there?" She goes, "It's a chimichanga." I thought, "Well, that sounds cool. Give me one of those." This is a pastry. I've never heard of a pastry called a chimichanga. I'm assuming it means fried or something like that, but totally not what I expected. It's pretty good. I've let it get. I didn't eat it. I let it get cold after I took the first bite, but caught me off guard. After my 10th handful, I've got my 4th wheat penny, 1946. I don't think I'm going to get 6 pounds out of this bag, but I'm really hoping that I get my 5. Part of my goal is to get 5 pounds a week, because to get my 260 pounds of copper for the year, and I think I'm pretty well in track on that still. Along with the last several handfuls, I've gotten these 4 2009s. Only one of them's really in good shape. And one more Canadian penny. That's another 89, 12-sided. That's where we stand. I'm just plugging away. I don't think it's a super bag, but I'm going to get, hopefully my week's copper out of it. After the 11th and 12th handfuls, there's the copper, but I did find wheat penny number 5. It's not in great shape, and it's not focusing. 58D. And I found another Canadian, 1970, and 5 more 2009s. A couple of them are pretty nice. Maybe I'll get the whole set this time. Let's see. Yeah, I think we've got it. The birth, his early years, his professional life, and his time in Washington. Oh, we got them all right there. That's pretty cool. Okay, after 13 handfuls now, I find wheat penny number 6. And it is 1954D. Also found another 2009, a pretty nice one. So they're adding up. I've weighed them. I've got about 17 pounds left, so I'm not halfway through. It weighed just under 25 pounds. So if I keep that up, how many? I'll get 10, 11, 12 wheat pennies. Of course, for 2 boxes, I would have hoped to get 20. So anyway, I'm still hoping to get at least 5 pounds of copper. Hey, look at this. Handful 14. I was just pulling off some of the shields off the top. And look at that. I get my dime. So I can't be a complainer now, can I? How cool. Got my dime. Handful 14, I get another wheat penny, but it's kind of rough. Pretty beat up. 1950D, I think. 56D. Or D. Okay. And my dime, and 2 more 09s. Pretty good one there. I'm getting more than usual of the 09s in this bag. These are some very dirty coins. But the very next row, I did get another wheat penny. 57D. A Canadian, but it's not copper. And another 2009. Bunch of them. I'm selling some old vintage jewelry on costume jewelry on eBay. I think it's all costume. And somebody asked to see a piece a little closer, so I thought I'd start out with clean hands. So now let's go get them dirty again. Well, I believe I'm a little over halfway done. And I've only got just about 2.5 pounds. So I think getting 5 pounds is even going to be close in this one. After 14 handfuls, I found a couple more. This is what I found in the last several handfuls. A couple more 2009s, decent shape. Some Canadians. 64, 79, and a 12-sided 93. And look at this. 45. That's the king. Man, I like finding those. A little bit worn, but that's alright. Pretty cool. Unfortunately, this is one of the years I have already, so it doesn't go in my book, but I will most gladly add this to my collection. I do like finding those. That's really cool. 1945. After 22 handfuls, I found wheat penny number 9, 1944. And several more 2009s. I'm finding, I think, quite a few of those for sure. 24th handful, and here is wheat penny number 10. I did get to 10 at least. 1957. And I got 3 more of the 2009 memorials. In the 26th row, I get wheat penny number 11, another 2009, and another Canadian copper coin. That's pretty cool. 1945 Philly. 11 wheat pennies. Oh, the copper's stacking up pretty good. We'll wait in a little bit. I'm selling my Rich Dad Poor Dad game on a Facebook Marketplace, and somebody contacted me, wanted to come pick it up, so I had to go wash my filthy hands again. Didn't want to handle the game with those nasty fingers. So I'm going to take a break till they get here, then we'll get back to it. I just have a few handfuls left, and the last couple of handfuls, I got a couple more 2009s, pretty nice ones, and a couple more coppers, 73 and a 79. I just have the bottom of this dirty bag left, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour the rest of it out. But that last row, last handful, I got some copper there, and number 12 wheat penny. 1951 Philly. 12 of them. Not too bad. That last bunch, I just got one 2009, which gives me a total of 30 for the whole bag. Pretty cool, I reckon. I got 12 wheat pennies in the whole the bag, and 1 dime. Yay! All the wheat pennies were 40s and 50s. I got 10. Where they at? There they are. 10 Canadian. One of them not copper, and one of them was the king. I love finding those. Now let's go weigh our copper. Well, a little disappointing. It was only 4.5 pounds. I was really hoping to get the 5. But you know what? Tomorrow I do pick up from my regular order 2 boxes of $50 and 1 box of pennies. So that'll definitely put me over the 5 pounds for the week. So that'll be quite cool. I'll try to get that one up, I guess, the end of the week. I'll get these poured in. Add to my ongoing. Oh boy, I spilt about 8 of them that time. It ain't like I haven't done it 1,000 times before. I got a little over 8 pounds in that box, so that puts me at about 53 pounds for the year. and it's the end of February. So I think I'm going really good. I think it's going to happen unless something comes up this year, which sometimes it does. I think I'll get done with lots of year left. I'll have my 260 pounds, which will put me at a total of 500 pounds. That is it for this 5,000 penny bag. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a little bit disappointing, but kind of fun, something different. And I'll get back to my box later in the week. See you guys. Have a good one. And good luck with your coin roll hunting and your copper hoarding.